So I guess this is going to be the video where I just talk a bit about my life and you guys get to know me a bit more. Anyway, so I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember. I know for a fact when I look through an old scrapbook my mom has of me, I have a picture of my preschool information about me, and at the bottom it says my favorite hobby is playing on the Super Nintendo. So, needless to say, I've been playing video games my whole life. And let me tell you, it's been an interesting life. You see, when I was a kid in the 90s and growing up in the early 2000s, video games were still relatively new. The internet wasn't really a thing, and most families didn't have a console in their house. It just wasn't really commonplace, and so it was odd for someone like me to spend so much time playing video games. In fact, gaming back in the day was looked down on because, like I mentioned before, it was still a very new thing. And so naturally there were the classic rumors that video games actually still have to this day, such as they make you violent or they destroy your brain, and most families at that time were probably like, "What? Video games make children more violent? Pfft, not in my Christian house." Truth be told, I just really wanted to use that phrase, "not in my Christian house," before. Anyways, and those rumors really led to a lot of the general thoughts and feelings towards gaming. And if you played video games a lot, you were kind of branded with the word nerd or geek. And for kids who don't know, back in the day, those were really hurtful words. You didn't own it with pride. You were just kind of like, because people didn't want to have Jared on their kickball team because he's a nerd. It was just kind of commonplace, and you kind of had to own it, which I guess most of us did, which is now why it's kind of a compliment. Or just hang out with other friends and form your own kickball team. Or just play Yu-Gi-Oh! And own people with your Blue Eyes White Dragon that you still carry in your wallet because, hey, you never know when some fool wants to send you to the Shadow Realm. I'm always going to be packing some good old Yu-Gi-Oh! With me. Now, why am I giving you this history lesson? I recently noticed that the time I grew up was also a weird transitional period where technology just jumped and everything changed really fast. Notable things that came out as I grew up were quickly being replaced by better and better things. I remember having cassette tapes and CDs in my home, which were then replaced by an MP3 player, which then just got murdered by the iPod. And that all happened within the span of my time in elementary school. Now, sit back and watch me as I date myself. Who remembers Walkmans? They were a CD player that you could carry around and hopefully fit into your pocket. Now, you can fit millions of songs on a little rectangle that also acts as your watch. Remember taping The Simpsons on TV with a VHS tape? Yeah, VHS tape. Now you can watch them all online and it won't take up any of your storage space because, bam, you can stream that crap. Now, along with the basic technology, video games changed as well. Just in my time, I went from this to this. We went from PS1 Resident Evil 2 to the Resident Evil 2 remake. Games have clearly changed and evolved in that time. But what I think is more interesting is how the view on gaming has changed. Gaming has, for a lack of a better term, become mainstream. When I was a kid, there was a high chance that your friend didn't have a gaming console, or if he did, it was really outdated. I had friends who had Super Nintendos when the GameCube existed. But that all changed in 2006, when the Big N released the big bad Wii. Oh wait, that sounds wrong. Then, if you didn't have a Wii, people ask, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" In high school, a little game called Call of Duty Black Ops came out with its zombies mode, and every football player and cheerleader in my high school would be playing it more than I was playing normal video games. There became a shift in that time, and it's become more and more common to see kids and teenagers playing video games than it ever was in my time. For example, I could probably go to an elementary school right now and ask the students if they play Fortnite, and I guarantee it would be 90 to 100%. Then I would probably run out of the building screaming as they did Fortnite dances, but I digress. And to me, it's really weird to see how the general view of video games has changed. Just within my lifetime, it went from a frowned upon hobby to most everybody playing. And in reality, I'm really kind of on the fence about it. On the negative side, with gaming being mainstream, it's kind of ruined the uniqueness of being a gamer because everyone does it. Wow, in hindsight, that's such a hipster response. I want to make myself look unique. But also because of the regular popular games like Fortnite and the LOLs, most people who play video games don't usually play anything else, so they miss out on other great games. But on the positive side, it's no longer frowned upon. You're not going to be made fun of for playing video games in school. We all have a common activity that we can all play together, and I'm not going to lie. When I show my nephew my video game figurines or my replica Master Sword, to see his face light up with excitement and have him think I'm a cool uncle because of video games, it's pretty sweet. Now, I guess while I'm on the fence about the concept of video games being mainstream, I will admit it's pretty cool to see something that I have loved for so long being admired by millions. People are being united by a love of gaming, and that's really cool. I just wanted to make this video talking about what it was like growing up and seeing this shift and how different it was for me and others growing up at that time. So that was kind of all I wanted to talk about. Thanks for watching. I'm very curious, did anyone else have a similar experience like me growing up? Also, what do you think about the whole video games is mainstream thing? I'm actually very interested, and maybe it could kind of help me get off the fence on this whole topic. Well, thanks for watching. I'm now going to go make sure my nephews are well educated in video games so they don't fall into the trap of that whole what's trending game. You think Dark Souls might be a good game for elementary kids to play?